Hello and good morning, and a wonderful, happy welcome to all my dear fellow shining beings from all around the world and all times, spaces, and all dimensions. It is I, Sylvia, coming to you on the 1st of May from beautiful Eastbourne by the sea. So, first of all, I would like to welcome you to spring. Der Mai ist gekommen. Die Bäume schlagen aus. And we have one of my favorite topics of all time on the menu. And I'm really looking forward to what is going to unfold here amongst us today. Really excited to see you here. Good morning, Marianne, and good morning, Carol Ann. Wonderful to have you here with me. You are very creative people, and that's going to be, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. That's going to help me in my endeavor to bring a little light, a little love, and a little logic into the world of human beings in the 21st century. Good morning, dear Ilka. Yes, lots of love to you, my darlings. Before we get into the creativity, I have to say how delighted I am about the Community Energist program. That was an idea that came to me last November to do something like that, to create this is not a course, it's a working group so that people can establish themselves as a modern energist in their local community where they really live with their friends and family, and start sharing some of the really good ideas from modern energy so that people can manage their stress better, discover their abilities to deal with emotions in a whole different way, and generally speaking, become a little happier, which is simply being a little bit higher on the energy chart. So this was my dream, that we would we do lots of things online, but it's really in the community where you really live, where you are, that we can do the most good. And I am so delighted that my dear community energists have started with their first trial sessions and really have brought in new people off the street, literally, that they've met and invited to join them for the trial sessions of the Modern Energy Club. And this has really happened. And in Scotland and in England and in Germany, there were people over the last couple of weeks gathering together and experiencing the joy of modern energy in forests and in nature and in rooms and in person, and it's been absolutely amazing. And I'm so proud of you guys. Well done. It's just wonderful. There's so much personal development that goes into it, to be smiling at people in the street, literally, and saying, hi, I run an energy club, would you like to come and feel better? So I'm really delighted that this idea I've had, or this idea, an aspect of mine had, has now 5 months later resulted in these people in these different countries having wonderful energy experiences. And that's just awesome. And I'm so thrilled about it. I'm so happy. Good morning, Maria. Is that Marina? Marina. Good morning, Marina. And Lorna. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, so I just want to send lots of love and sparkles to my dear community energists. And if that idea of having an energy club of your own is interesting to you and inspiring to you, I am pretty convinced there's going to be a new program for 2023. So start registering your interest for that. It's just a wonderful, wonderful personal development journey out of our snail shells. One person said to me that they felt that at some point in their lives, they had these social tentacles and they got burnt off by bad experiences, and that they could feel that they're starting to regrow now. And that just thrilled me to bits. It just makes me super happy to see that, you know, hmm, energy brings happiness. It does. It does. So, to the topic of the day, creativity. What does that word mean? Ah, yes. I think one or two people might know what that refers to. And if you don't, that's okay as well. So I've looked up the word root of creativity this morning just for fun. And it comes from the Latin creatus or creare, to bring into being, to bring something into being. Mm. And then there's the older Greek version, which is crescere, arise, be born, increase, and grow. Love it. This is partially sort of metaphorically related to planting seeds and watching them grow and bringing in the harvest. Crescent moons come from that word. It's very interesting, isn't it? But to so many people, creativity is this nebulous, weird thing that crazy artists do, or crazy writers, these crazy creatives. They roll around in their own filth and they pull out their hair and they self-mutilate, and somehow something wonderful comes out of that at the end, or something highly disturbing. We can't know what it's going to be. And I don't understand creativity like that at all. I understand creativity as being something simple, straightforward, that every human being can do. Because, we have these marvelous brains that have more stars in them than the visible sky, and the connections between them are, to all intents and purposes, infinite. And we use about 5% of our brains. And so, yeah, creativity is our birthright. It is literally what, in my opinion, what makes the difference between a person and a monkey. Monkeys play with sticks too. They do. But not in the same way as human children do, who build things out of that. And I find that quite fascinating. The energy symbol for creativity is a fountain. That's a fountain symbol. So why don't we, just for fun, assume the heart position for a moment? Take a deep breath in and out. And consider that you are standing on a plain, slightly misty, slightly blue, and clearly this is a different world. There is no bend in the horizon. And if you look down in front of your feet, you can see a little something bubbling up from there. And if you want, you can step back a little, because you have a feeling that something is about to burst from the ground. And this bubbling sort of, yeah, it's bubbling. Seems like light bubbling up. Some kind of light water seems to be pushing its way to the surface. You take one more step back because you can sense that. And there it comes. There it explodes and rushes up into the sky. And this is made from these millions, billions of sparkling diamond light drops, light water drops. And they start raining down on you. And that feels really great. Prickly and warming and interesting. And bringing your energy body to life. Making it sparkle in all sorts of different dimensions, all sorts of different ways. And there, the desire builds up now to just step forward, forget all the fears of old, and become one with the fountain. Take one step forward, the second, and then the third, and feel that fountain rush up through right the center of you, blowing out the top of your head and all those silly thoughts you ever had about creativity. So you are standing there and you are the fountain today. You are the fountain. I hope you can sense a little sparkle, a little tingle, a little joy. That's your creativity, your birthright as a real human being that has come to dive into the oceans of energy and live their lives properly as a multi-dimensional being, a radiant multi-dimensional being. That was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I'm tingling all over. I can feel it in my tips of my toes. I can feel it in my fingers. I feel things rushing down my back. And this is a lovely, quick meditation, a sanctuary experience that you can do at any time. You feel a bit dry, a bit dull, a bit dusty, a bit bored. Because when we raise our energy and we become energy higher, we wake up, we come to life. And what happens there is that we connect within ourselves to what I have started calling our dear energy mind. See, in modern energy, I like to keep things simple. And so when I think of an energy body, I think of a real body, a body that has healing hands and a heart of gold and all these rivers and streams running through it that connect it to the oceans of energy. Like the tentacles that lady was talking about that connect her to other people. Real living energy body. And this energy body has feet that can connect with the ground. And it has these streams that connect it right up to the great grid that rests upon the land. And this real energy body also has a head and a neurology. It has a brain. And I think that our dear energy mind is simply the living, real brain of our energy bodies. And everybody has one. And this is what generates our dreams, generates our memories, generates those things that come to us, and we feel these things coming to us. It's not like you worked it out yourself, it comes to you. Like when you're asked a question, something to create something, like, just an idea or something. Somebody says, okay, so I need to write a poem, but I can't think what to do. Have you an idea for a poem? And I said that, and I just got an image of a bluebell. That's a flower that you find in English forests. It's a stick with these bluebells hanging from it. It's very nice. It's a spring flower. It's one of the first spring flowers, and sometimes there are carpets of them in English forests. So I had this idea of this bluebell. Where did that come from? It didn't, it feels like it doesn't come from you. It comes from outside of you. And this has led many people in the past to think that there's some kind of external entity, something that isn't you, that is telling you stories, or that is saying something to you, or that is showing you something, or creating your dreams, or giving you ideas, or even saving you sometimes in moments of crisis. Just thinking of this man who was on a burning oil platform in the North Sea. All his friends ran down the corridor, and there was like a voice that said to him, no, you need to go the other way, the opposite direction. And so he did. And so all his friends died and he survived. And this is easy to then think this is something that's come from outside of me, like God has spoken, or there's some sort of aliens that hang around and they tell us stuff. It used to be called a daemon, our daemon, spelled Daemon. This is a word I don't like because it's way too close to demon. I don't think that these things come from outside of us, or that there is some entity outside of us. I simply think this is how our dear energy mind, the brain of our energy body, communicates with us. It is what sends us the ideas. So I think that's a really, really good way to go, and, you know, and to keep it like that for now. And that we want to find new ways and lots of ways to communicate with our dear energy minds. And again, enormous libraries have been written about this, but it's really simple. It's really simple. The conscious mind, what we think of as I, we ask the question, and the energy mind answers. So, for example, when I say to my dear energy mind, give me a topic to write a poem about, it answers by sending me bluebells. It's as simple as that. Really, that's creativity. That's your creativity. Arise. The first word was arise. We've got the idea. Now, to be born, there we start actually doing something, aka writing the poem. That's where it transfers from this world of ideas, where everything is possible, and it transfers down into physical reality as I get out my pen and my piece of paper, and then I start, writing the words together with my dear energy mind. And then it's increase and grow until the poem is finished, and then I have a piece of paper with a finished poem on it. And that's creativity. That is the completeness of creativity. Arise, be born, increase, and grow. It is really as simple as that. But we all know this. We are energists here. We know about the dear energy mind, and all you need to do is to ask it a question and it will send you an answer. And to begin with, it helps to do that in the heart position so that your dear energy mind knows that you're talking to it. So that it goes, oh, yeah, you want me to be actually engaged in this process after just a lifetime of ignoring the fact that we are not alone in this incarnation, that there's this vast intelligence that each one of us carries, that we need to learn to query, to question it. A super great way, if you're completely new to this, a super good way of doing this is to just simply ask for specific memories. And star matrix, of course, is the way. Dear energy mind, please give me a memory of a good time at a party. And then you have to just simply stop and wait for the energy mind to respond and give you this memory. With a little bit of practice, this becomes super fast. Super fast. And that's really worth practicing with, because communication with our dear energy mind is the start of creativity. That's the beginning point of our 4-step journey to bring something into being. Arise, give me that, give me an idea for a poem, give me an idea for making this interaction more fun. Give me a memory of a party where I really had fun. And then this flash up occurs, what we call a flash up. It's a flash up. This may be pictures or sounds or a feeling in the body or a scent. That can be very powerful. But again, with practice, we get all 6 senses involved in that. And these flash ups become very real. And they're very energizing, and it's wonderful. And that is something that our dear energy minds can do for us. And if we practice that and then come to ask a question, a different kind of question, like, what should I do now? The energy mind can flash us up an answer. What should I do now? Celebrate. Sing and dance with joy. Be happy together in groups of people. Enjoy being alive while you can. Is really the answer that I was being sent there, with a memory of being at a party, music playing, everybody's having a good time, really in the groove, loving the music, hands in the air, and everybody's laughing and smiling and just in the moment, feeling good, feeling fine. So yeah, creativity. It starts with the dear energy mind. Totally does. I absolutely recommend Star Matrix for beginners. Buy the book, do the exercises. Fill your book of stars with memories. And you will notice how much more awesome your dear energy mind responds to the questions that you ask it. And that's the starting point for all creativity. A good idea. Ascension, a vision. And we can all do that. You do not have to be some kind of crazy artist or a saint or anything like that to make that work. But guys, what I wanted to tell you about today particularly, and why I'm excited to talk about creativity, is the 3 levels of creativity. I have sort of known this for a long, long time, but it's come really fully into focus for me that there are 3 levels of creativity. And this is also the reason why we're talking about creativity in the first place. I saw a social media post where somebody attributed a quote to Nikola Tesla to say that creativity is doing it all alone. They have to be alone in order to be creative. And I do know where he's coming from. I do. When you're alone and really focus in on what you're trying to do, you can get into these really high expanded states where you and your dear energy mind are no longer separate, but they're getting closer and closer and closer. And they start to form this thing that we call supermind. When the conscious mind and the energy mind get on the same page and they're doing the same thing at the same time, and it's amazing. Wonderful creative experience by yourself. Aha, I can do that. But there is another level of creativity, level 2. And that's creativity for 2. So when you get 2 people, that's 2 energy minds and 2 conscious minds. And when they get into a couple bubble together, oh my, oh my, oh my. All of a sudden, they are more than the sum of their parts. And the 2 of them, between them, will come up with ideas that are completely impossible for either of them by themselves to come up with. These ideas will be different. They'll be of a different nature, different order. But most importantly, you could never have come up with that without the other person by yourself. Now, for me, this is super attractive because I know I can go and sit on my mushroom and come up with anything and everything under the sun that I can come up with endlessly. And that's fun. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Sort of the alpha and omega of creativity is doing it by yourself. But I then love to do the couple bubble, where I know I'm going to get ideas that I will never get by myself. Can't be done, obviously. 2 energy minds, 2 conscious minds, getting to be more than the sum of their parts. Exponential increase in intelligence. Wow. And that is really cool. That's level 2 of creativity. But you can take it up one more. Now, what if you have more than 2 people? What if you have a group and a powerful group bubble where all of a sudden everyone in the group becomes more than the sum of their parts? And they're thinking literally with not one mind, but you could call it a hyper mind. Because we already have a super mind when we combine our conscious and unconscious mind. In a group situation, now we are getting to have ideas and solutions on a whole different level. On a whole different level. It's difficult to explain if you've never experienced that. And before you say, oh, I've never experienced that, I've never been in a beautiful group where all of a sudden these ideas started to flow that just blew us all away or that made us all laugh. Before you say that, check your memories. Check your memories of a time, because I believe this has happened to you. Oh, yes. May have been as a child when you played in the forest with other children. It may have been at work somehow that happened. It may be with friends at college or, the sort of thing where you're hanging around with friends and drinking red wine in the park. That kind of thing. And all of a sudden you got into this mystical groove where you were solving the problems of the world together. See, I think that people are structurally designed to work like that. That they are not supposed to be alone and working out problems alone. That they're supposed to form these group bubbles where everybody comes together. And that includes, in a real group bubble, small children, babies, really old people that might not be able to talk anymore. But sort of all of those energy fields combine into a single group, into a single tribe. and that their ideas, solutions, thoughts, possibly healings become possible that you couldn't possibly get in any other way. Western society and Western culture has really separated people from each other in a profound way. Separated old people from young people, children from parents, you know, individuals. This individualism has left people on their own, trying to figure out things on their own. And I don't think that the natural human design is meant to be that. I think that these three levels of creativity, your own ideas, the ideas that come when there's two, and the ideas that come when there is a whole tribe, a group, that they all have their special place, if you will, in the greater order of things. And that these three levels of creativity belong together, that they inform each other, and that if you want to be truly creative, this is not a single person self-help lonely supposition. That's my theory on the three levels of creativity. So let's have a look what we got going on here. Go. Ilka says, yes, I believe we are downloading information from other people as well without talking. So we are perfectly able to read energy. It is, to me, energy is data. That's what it is. It's information. That's why the emo book is called Energy, Information, and Love. It is actual data. It's information. And somehow people are able to put their minds together, put their heads together, as the word goes, and create these supercomputers between them, where they're more than the sum of their parts. So yeah, the reason I really am talking about this is that after all these years of isolation, I had the great joy of being in the same room with some living people last Thursday. And it so happened that I had one of those level 3 creative things. We were standing in a circle and doing some energy raising, some simple energy raising, nothing spectacular, a little bit of heart healing, a little bit of applause, just chatting. And I could feel this group bubble getting stronger. And I had this idea of creating a virtual golden fire in the center of our circle and just putting all our troubles into it. And as we did, it grew bigger and bigger and bigger until it encompassed the entire group. And that really made me laugh, because we have this thing in the GOE trainers training that your training is a ball of light and you are inside of it. And so, yeah, we were all inside the ball of light, and it was lovely. It was really nice. And it was that really reminded me of the fact that if these other people weren't there and we weren't standing in a circle and I wasn't thinking with everybody else's energy field aligned, I would have never thought of that by myself, standing by myself somewhere. I would never have thought of that. This can only happen when there's people standing in a circle. And so if you want to explore your creativity, if you feel that there is more to be had, shall we say, that there's certain things that you could do over and over for the rest of your life, like so many artists do, but that's kind of boring, and you're wondering what's next. How can I expand? The simple answer to that is add some level 2, 3 creativity. For example, get somebody else together, find another person who doesn't mind, and I don't know, tell a story together, create a story between the two of us, or do a doodle together, or create a sanctuary between you, and just enjoy that different kind, that level 2 creativity, if you want to do that. And then if you feel like it and you're in a position to do that, try and get a few more people together. 5 for that group thing. Write a poem together, all 5 of you, or a song, or a sketch show to make people laugh. That can be wonderful. Yeah, that's magic, people magic. The magic of creativity. And then when you go back to your single creativity, if you will, come back home after that, what you find is you're totally inspired, and your thinking, your feeling, your creativity has expanded because of that experience with the other person or with the group. So I think that's kind of super, super important and cool and groovy. Something that, experienced sort of over the years. And yeah, I wanted to share that with you. I'm going to make that a little bit fun. Okay, we've got a question. Marina says, if the energy is data, how can evolve in something that can heal? This is not clear to me. Let me try and just think of the energy in terms of a stream of light water, like the fountain that we had in the little meditation at the beginning. It's a stream of light water, and it just contains information. And what we say with energy healing is that, and we're talking energy healing here, we're not talking curing cancer or fixing broken bones. We're talking pure energy healing for the living energy body. The more energy flows through this energy body, the happier it is, the lighter it feels, the more power it has to support the physical body. And just think of it as this stream of light water that flows through, up and down, all around. And this carries information. It carries information. This is why when you're doing some sort of modern energy work, and let's say a person has this big blockage here, and some energy work is done, whether this is hands-on healing or tapping or EMO or supermind, and this blockage goes away, and all of a sudden there's this rush of energy through the person's energy body, and they go, oh, and then the insights come. Now I know what, oh my God, yeah, that's what that was. And now I understand why I couldn't. And oh yes, now makes sense. Now it's clear. This was something that I found so fascinating about the early EMO teaching, is that there is always this rush of extra information when an energy blockage has been cleared and the energy is flowing freely, and the person is like, so many insights. It's I guess a feature of an enlightenment experience is that all of a sudden you learn more. I hope that has helped. Okay, so yeah, there we are. That was my reconnecting with creativity and the 3 levels of creativity that we are achieving. If you are completely new to this, I really recommend Star Matrix. It's a natural and organic way to get into sync with your own dear energy mind by asking for memories and asking these positive, high positive memories to be much more, to really get into them. What else can I see? What can I feel? What can I scent? What can I taste? All of this information is provided by the dear energy mind. And so you're practicing and connecting the channels, and you're building new neural pathways in the brain as well at the same time. And so what happens is, if you do Star Matrix for a while, that your dear energy mind flashes you up all sorts of helpful things as you go through your daily life quickly and oftentimes without being asked. And I find that is a real bonus, real bonus. So you don't even have to ask for help. The dear energy mind starts flashing you up helpful things in real time, right away, without having to do a technique or anything like that. So yeah, I really, really recommend Star Matrix for these things. What have we here? Linda says, I've been invited to a creative writing group and I'm scared that I will sit there completely blocked. But I must be brave and trust my energy mind, and maybe the group energy will help me. Yeah, if you go in there without fear and just love for the participants, and this is really important to understand in this group creativity. It's not like these mastermind groups of old, where everybody has to be some kind of Gandalf the Grey, terribly enlightened, terribly clever. It's not like that. I've had sort of these group experiences with pensioners and sick people, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the other people are, whether they're great poets or whether they're worst poets of all times. It doesn't matter who they are. If you can sort of love them and embrace them and get that additional input from them, something arises that is bigger than you could have made it yourself. And anybody who's ever worked with children, and very young children, in groups, kindergartens, schools, classes, anywhere like that, they'll know that. The children don't know anything yet, but that doesn't matter. It's when you get together, is that the energy starts to flow, the ideas start to flow, the information starts to flow. If you can encourage that and go with it and really encourage it from your end, that this should happen more and more and more, there can be this fountainous explosion of something marvelous entering into our worlds that had never been before. And I'd say that's kind of the hallmark of creativity. So yes, Linda, be brave and loving and nice and compassionate to the other people who are there in that group. Don't engage in power struggles with them. Just be there and love them. Spread a little happiness as you walk by and see what'll come from it when you get home. What ideas you're going to have that you wouldn't have had without this. Right, yes. So, my dear shining beings, my energy mind has just sent me something it wants to do. So please join me. Join me and return to that plane with the fountain, where you are standing in the fountain, where you are the fountain. Your energy is the fountain of creativity. I'd like you to very slowly now turn on the spot And as you do that, you can see that where those little diamond sparkles, light water drops, are making contact with the ground and the soil all around you, tiny plants and flowers, life springs into being. And that is delightful. That's amazing. You are transforming this plane into a garden of Eden simply by being the fountain. And as you see those little plants and flowers starting to grow and blossom, this is bringing joy back to you. So much joy. You are making a change in the world. You are bringing life and love of life. And that makes your fountain higher, more powerful, more sparkly still. And as it grows higher, it reaches wider and further still and brings more life to this dimension through your creativity, through your joy, through your sparkles, through your energy. And please be advised, you can return to this plane at any time and step into your birthright of creativity, of creating things that were never there before, of causing things to arise, to be born, to increase, and to grow into something beautiful. And you were at the start of it. I do love creativity. If you do workshops and energy clubs and go to energy conventions, please feel free to share these sort of exercises that we do here on Sunday with other people. Get their feedback. Find out how it is for them, how that feels when we really connect with the pure energy of creativity. Forget about the old. Step into the new. It's a wonderful thing. So, I am going to close with my new favorite thing. Join me if you will. I love this so much. We have amazing physical bodies. We have beautiful minds. And we have an astonishing energy body. We are radiant, multidimensional beings in the oceans of energy. And our happiness matters. Hey, I love that. I think that's so beautiful. Lots of love to you, my dear friends and shining beings. Please like, comment, share. I would absolutely love for more people to get involved with modern energy, to try it out for themselves, to see if it can do something for them, can help them with their love, with their logic. Every share, every like, every comment helps and is super appreciated as we are in this phase. Modern energy has arisen. It has been born. And now it wants to increase and grow. And that's the right way forward. And let's make that so. With your help, we're going to make the world a happier place, a more reasonable place, a more logical place, a more sensible place. and spread a little happiness as we go by. Okay, guys, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. And I am super looking forward to seeing you again for the Energy Show, Sunday Live, 10 a.m. UK. Lots of love. Bye for now, everyone.